All right, today we are going to react to the cost of living crisis gets worse as prices continue to rise in 2026. I like Price. I think he does a great job of consolidating all these clips. So let's get to it. Give you a small glimpse of what the consumer sentiment is going on right now. And consumer sentiment, as I said before, is how consumers feel. So that is why I'm constantly creating these videos, because it gives you a glimpse into what it looks like across our nation currently.
Else notice the sudden change in prices in items ridiculously high? Like, for instance, these jeans. I just posted these jeans on April 13th. Today is what, the 22nd? They were under $20 when I posted them. Now they're 46. Same with this 3-pack of shirts. Really like them. They're soft, they're comfortable, but I believe they were about $15 for the 3-pack when I posted them. And let's not get started on these shoes. These shoes I know were about $20. No more than 25 when I posted them. 93? What is Trump doing? Now, this is just plain ridiculous. On my main page, I have remodeled my bathroom using these exact pink peel and stick tiles. The 10-pack, I believe, I don't know, maybe $15. The 30-pack, I think, was 40 something dollars. $182? What? Hold on. Now, come on. Now, I made a video about these carpet square tiles. They had to be, I want to say, maybe like $15. That's all they're worth. But 77 doll hairs? In the comment below, tell me, have y'all noticed this? Is it the tariffs? What is the sudden increase, ridiculous increase? Because some of these items, I would have never even requested a sample, because I pay attention to the samples and how much they cost, what they're going to cost other people to buy, and would I buy it if I was shopping for it? 77? This is ridiculous. In the comments, please tell me, have you noticed this?
And it feels like it's
All right. Yep. That is quite a bit for a lot of people. Prices are going to go up because the dollar is losing value. So everything in resemblance to the US dollar, when you're pricing things in US dollar, is going to go up in price. If you ever want to see this in action, there are some statistics where if you look at home prices considered by gold, when you price them by gold, then when you price them by dollars, when you price them by gold, it's one of the lowest it's been in decades. But when you compare it to US dollar, it's the most expensive it's been, because as we print more money, it's going to make assets, which is our goods and services, go up in price. So that's what you're seeing, and you're seeing the government take advantage of it because of our United States debt. This can go way deeper, and I'm not going to go into it too much in this video, but ultimately that's why these prices are so high. There's not much you can do about it, but we're going to keep seeing these other videos and see what goes on. But I feel bad for everyone who doesn't understand that that's what's happening. It's just the US dollar losing more and more purchasing power. All right, let's watch the next one.
Friends took me out for some lunch to a local place that I like to go, and I've been a few times over the years. But apart from getting food poisoning, which is bad in itself, but I want you to know what I realised, and you probably realised or noticed it too, is you're paying more for the food, yet the portion sizes are even smaller. So what we've done is we'd ordered like a good few starters thinking, oh, it's really going to fill us up, and we like picky food. So instead of one main meal, we have different types of food, a few varieties in front of us. Now, they've gone smaller, but the prices have gone like bigger, like inflated. And I don't get it. I don't get how that's okay. And I don't get how far they're going to take it. Next time we go out and get like a starter, I ask for breaded mushrooms or something as an example. You will get like 2 mushrooms. I'm not even joking. And even the size of the mushrooms have gone smaller. Like, so not only the portion size, the size of the food's gone smaller. So make it make sense. What are we actually paying for? Literally, I think children's menus have more food in them.
Yeah. That's about it. It's I'm making these videos to have people understand that's what's happening. Is it fair? Honestly, in both sides, it's not fair. The companies have to increase prices because at the end of the day, their costs are going up too. But are they taking advantage of the situation because of the common person's ignorance? Of course they are. This is what fast food quite literally has done. They increase prices because, and they use, well, it's inflation. That's the reason why it's happening. So yeah, it's pretty rough, but the only thing you can do, and the silver lining to it, is portion sizes are smaller, which can actually make you more healthier. Something that I do. When I get fast food, I only get small meals. So it's just enough to satiate what I need, but I'm not over consuming. And I think that is one silver lining I wish some people would take advantage of, is that because the portion sizes are smaller, now we can find a way to survive with less. Not saying we should have less, but we should be able to survive and handle less. And when we have more, we have a surplus and we can save it or give it or whatever we can do. But our assumptions up here, and that's what's hurting us, because now it's here and we don't know how to survive, which is what all these videos point out. So let's see this next one.
So I've had a headache for like 2 days, can't get rid of it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pull the big guns out and get me a Dr. Pepper and corn chips. It never fails me to stop a headache. This morning I got up, went to the gas station to get my food. $8.
Yeah.
$8. Minimum wage is still $7.25. Someone would have to work over an hour to get corn chips and a Dr. Pepper. $8. What happened to this being like $2, $3 for some chips? I guess the bag is pretty big, so let's say $4. 2 and 2. Why is it 4 and 4? $8.
Yeah. I actually noticed this from my own gas station. When I go to Sheets or when I'm working as an electrician, I have to go stop somewhere. Yeah, chips are like, that bag of chips is like $4.69 where I'm at. I stick with vitamin water, which is $1.75, which isn't too bad. But yeah, it's all very expensive. Now, here is the one thing. Because wages are the last thing to increase when inflation hits, this small semblance of time, let's say like it's a year, it's going to be very, very, very hard. But when wages catch up, because as you just mentioned, in 1 hour of work would only give me a bag of chips and a drink. Well, most normal people won't accept that. So the businesses are going to have to accept that, hey, a marketplace isn't going to accept $7.50. So I have to pay more. And this is why you are seeing wages go up in the few people who are still hiring. The wages are going up because cost of living is higher. So if they want people to work for them, they're going to have to pay more. Now, the difference is they still have the power. And this is the thing I don't want people to assume, is that, well, things are still good. It's like, no, technically they still have the power. And with AI on their side, unfortunately, they have more power and more leverage than we do. But if they want actual good workers, they're going to have to pay more. And that's going to happen within next, I'll say about 2 years, probably a year or two. You're going to see that change. So you always got to think of it like a cruise liner. It's going to take a long time for it to turn. But once it does turn, things will start going well. And see this next one with these price increases. And ultimately, that's what's going to be the problem for all of this.
So recently, a few breeds on my booking system went up by $2. And I mean $2. None of the breeds went up by more than $2. It was just a few breeds that happened to be the breeds that we use the most shampoo on. It wasn't even big breeds. It was like my mini doodles, Pomeranians, things like that. And I mean $2. If they were a $56 haircut, they're now a $58 haircut. I actually didn't increase the bath prices, just the haircut prices, to kind of compensate for the shampoo. I have not increased prices. I've increased prices once in 5 years. A lot of my clients still pay significantly under market value for my grooms. But recently I've had a few new clients, and when I quoted, I said things like 56 instead of 58 or 74 instead of 76, things like that, because I'm used to my old prices. That is my fault. Completely, I acknowledge that. However, I also always tell every client who books with me, if they're booking over text or Facebook, I let them know that this is just a quote until I see their dog, and it's conditional on the size of the dog and the condition of the coat. I'm very upfront with that because I've gotten myself into pickles as a newer business owner where a dog came in and it was, they booked it as a Yorkie, which is very small, and then it comes in and it's almost 30 pounds instead of like 5 pounds because it's actually a silky terrier, and you would be surprised how many people don't know what breed of dogs that they own. So I always say this is a quote. Okay, so I've had 4 new clients in the last 2 weeks. All the dogs either came in extremely matted or with fleas, or both. And I try very, very hard, whether you're a new client or a returning client, if it is the first time your dog has had fleas or is matted, or you're just a first time client, I try not to charge for matting or fleas. Like I always give, whether again, you're a new or returning client, I will give you a one-off. I will talk to you about it. And I will generally say, like, if they come in matted again, I will have to charge for it. I try to give that grace to everybody. Unfortunately, last week I had some people upset. I did not charge them for the matting or the fleas, but they were upset that they were quoted $2 less than what I charged them. And I feel super frustrated because I could have charged my typical $10 to $20 in matting. Like one of these dogs was extremely matted, like pelted, and both of the dogs that the owners complained also had fleas. So I not only out of my own pocket gave them a Capstar, which kills like everything in the body in 24 hours, or like all the fleas on the body in 24 hours. I also had to use a very expensive flea shampoo, and I had to bomb my salon at the end of the day. So I essentially lost out in $30 in cost, because the Capstars cost me about $10 a dose. The flea bombs are about $10 a piece. And then my flea shampoo, because it does expire quickly, it's a really good brand. It expires quickly though. I generally, because I don't go through a lot of it, especially this time of year, it's about $10 an application because I throw my shampoo out when it expires. I do not keep old nasty products in my salon. So I just kind of want to know, I guess, like, am I the asshole over the $2 when I could have charged $20 to $30 in fees? Because these clients are sending messages that literally make me feel like a scammer or something. And as a small business owner, this is so frustrating. And I just could never imagine ever when someone tells me like this is a quote, getting angry over $2. $2. Like I've been told before my nails were going to be 45 and they were like 150. And I was like, okay, yeah, I get that. That's a quote. Like it's a quote. $2. Like I will Venmo you $2 back.
So I've been giving out a couple.
To answer her question, no, you are not. You're not rude for telling them the truth. And this is the thing that I would like to say about some business owners. It's that, or people who aren't business owners. That is the real consequence when this comes to running a business. I don't want people to believe that all businesses are just money hungry, don't care, etc. Like, she explicitly talked about her cause and how much she tries to give back. And the people, the consumers, are so neglectful about the businesses. I'm not talking about corporations. Corporations are completely immune to this most of the cases because they're so big they can't alleviate risk. But small businesses, they're not the same. So it's very important to keep that in consideration when you're working with a business owner like this. Like, to me, no, I think you did it right. I think you're doing way better than most. That the fact that your numbers work so well, that you're able to not only not increase prices, because she's not really increased price outside of $2-3, but she's still able to keep a lot of the things she's been giving to her customer for the past 5 years. That's a testament on how well she's been running her business and how well her margins are, as she can protect herself when things go wrong. But if clients just want to be rude, then you let those clients be rude. And you let them find other businesses and let them do something else. But she seems like she has a lot of integrity on how she runs her business. So hopefully she can get herself through all of this and provide a service as well worth the money she's asking for. Let's see this next one.
Bids lately, and then have some customers reach back out saying the price is too high. It's not that it's too high, it's that you can't afford it. You know, it's not expensive, it's just you just can't afford it. And the tariffs are not helping the situation. The tariffs have made everything expensive, you know, not just from stuff being expensive, to the workers want to get paid more so they could afford the cost of living. You know, it's not this, I can't give you the price from 5-10 years ago. You know, employees want to get paid more, everything. Like, I went to the store, bought one chocolate bar. $4 for one chocolate bar is crazy. But yeah, it's not that it's expensive, you just can't afford it.
I don't know about you, but I've been seeing videos.
Yes, very true. And he speaks of the reality of the economy. It's that, yes, everyone wants prices to stay lower, but the price of the dollar, the value of the dollar has gone down. So everything goes up, everything. Cost of workers, they want more money so they can afford what they want, which means it's the business is going to have to accept the risk. Any products that they use, any services that they use, everything has gone up. And he's like, look, I'm trying, but I have to increase prices because you guys want more wages, which is very much true. This is the understanding of how money and economy works, and not putting all how upset people are to the wrong people. It's not the business owner's fault. It's really Federal Reserve when it comes to our dollar, unless we're going to use silver or gold or some other type of currency we use to exchange value. We have no control over that. Let's see this next one.
Like this one, going around from people shopping at stores like Walmart and Target and finding that items have no prices. And this is really wild to me, and I wanted to understand what was actually happening here. And what I found, well, this is the beginning of dynamic pricing in retail. Check this out. Now, most people think prices change because of supply and demand, but that's not what's happening anymore. Retailers aren't asking, what is this item worth? They're now asking, what will you pay right now? And they already have an answer. Every time you hesitate, refresh the page, come back later, abandon a cart, scroll slower than usual, that's all data that's been collected. And that data changes your price. Two people can look at the same product at the same time and see different numbers, not because inventory changed, but because their behavior did. And here's what they're not telling us. Dynamic pricing isn't about efficiency. It's really about emotional extraction. The stress, the urgency. I just want to buy it and be done. And they know this, and that is when prices quietly climb. Personally, I see this with Amazon a lot. And your loyalty isn't going to protect you. Repeat visits can actually cost you more because the system knows you care. They know you want the product. This is why people feel like, why was it cheaper yesterday? Or why did my friend pay less? You're not imagining it. This isn't the future of retail. It's already live. It's happening. And it only works as long as people don't realize they're being priced individually. Because once you see it, well, you can't unsee what's happening. Let me know in the comments. Have you seen this in the stores? Have you seen items with no price tags? Let me know. Do you work in retail? Are you seeing this happening? Do you have to remove the tags? Let me know.
Yep, I agree. Dynamic pricing is everywhere. Walmart has pushed it. In certain counties, in certain states, there is electronic. Anytime you see an electronic price tag, it can be changed at a whim. One analogy I love to use is when you want ice cream. Oh, get this down. When you want ice cream in a hot day, they can increase prices on that ice cream at the same time or a certain time that demand is higher. Now, technically, this is illegal. So they are protecting themselves. But from what I understand, having prices like that is kind of illegal because in some ways it's discrimination from what I understand. I could be wrong. But so if that's why I constantly preach that it's on us to control what we want in spending. All this dynamic pricing and changing, they can do whatever they want. But if you aren't susceptible to them trying to make you consume things you don't need, all this dynamic pricing ain't going to help them. Their prices are going to go down. And then the government is going to say, well, we're in a recession now because people aren't spending money no more, because the consumer sentiment, how consumers feel is real negative. So they're saving their money and we got to find a way to get them to spend money. That's what it always comes down to. So the best thing we can do is when they want to try this dynamic pricing, and yes, I've seen it quite a bit myself, especially on Amazon, just don't even buy it. And if you absolutely need it, okay, if you absolutely need it, but there shouldn't be too many things you absolutely need. And once you get those needs, no more buying. You let them suffer. So let's move on to the next one.
Everything has gone up, but the quality has significantly gone down. And that's with everything, with furniture, with food, with clothes, with experiences, apartments, like everything is such poor quality now, and the price of it is astronomical. Like if I'm looking for a nice sweater, right? The sweater is overpriced, right? And then I look at the materials, it's polyester. Why am I paying for plastic? If I want a new dresser, the price is astronomical, right? Then I look at the materials. It's not even made out of real wood. And it's built not to last. Like it's going to fall apart. If I want to go to the bar and get a cocktail, the cocktail is basically $20 and it's mad juice. I feel no buzz. I have to basically get like 3 drinks to feel a buzz, which I'm not getting 3 drinks to just be having sugar so I can have a bad hangover. Oh, and these apartment buildings, these like quote unquote luxury apartment buildings that literally take them like 2 weeks to build, and everything is so cheaply made. And they think just because putting a stainless steel appliance, that makes the unit luxurious. There's no space. The cabinets are falling apart. The balcony is falling apart. But it's $4,000 for a 1-bedroom. Like, what are we talking about here? It's really getting out of hand.
The part that trips me.
I am very thankful that people are starting to wake up from this, because ultimately the reason why they keep getting away with it, because we keep buying it. We as a culture have gotten so comfortable with consumerism that they are allowed and able to get away with having such crappy quality of goods and services because we keep paying for it. All we have to do is just not pay for it. And that's actually what's happening in the car company, which will be an entirely own video. The quality of cars have gone down so much that people now can't justify paying $60,000, $70,000, or in Stellantis' case, when it comes to the Jeeps, $100,000 for a Jeep that falls apart within 6 months to a year. In my opinion, it shouldn't have taken that long. But now that people are like this woman here is finally talking about it, well, yeah, they get away with it for as long as we allow them to get away with it. At the end of the day, their business does not work. Their business is particularly there to serve their customers. That's the only way they get money. So if they find out that, well, their customers don't want this stuff no more, they must adapt or go out of business. I'm bringing this up because ultimately we are the ones who have the power. Yes, they have the quote unquote goods and services, but we can technically create those goods and services ourselves within reason. I'm not going to say all of it, but it's like we need to mandate our companies to say, hey, if you don't want to give us good quality stuff, we aren't paying for it. We'll just buy used stuff. We'll buy the older stuff when you actually did care about quality. And after they lose enough money, I best believe they're going to try to help their quality back. So let's try out this other video, see what this is about.
About reality is everything is as cheap as it's going to be right now. And where I want more out of my life, when I save up to get past the barrier to entry, it's already twice the amount it was. So it's just like, what the fuck? And then, you know, I don't come from a family where you can just go get 20 grand from somebody that you ain't got to pay back. I wish. So, and it ain't that I can't go take out a loan or nothing like that either, because I can do that too. But I think it's bullshit. And then people try to act like crime doesn't pay, but crime has the highest payout. Like, so should I scam my way past the barrier to entry into the things that I want to get into and then be legal, or just start scamming and get deeper into it, you know, because the legal way of living, I'm just not seeing it. You know, the ROI ain't hitting on shit if you don't come from a family that already has shit in place for the people behind them.
Well, yeah, that's very much true. Prices are going up over time because, once again, the dollar is constantly losing value. Now, here's the difference. Prices will go down over time in certain aspects. And the reason why this is the case is because innovation could possibly make things more efficient. And when things become more efficient, things drop down in price. And eventually, once it gets very bad, because it will get bad, these companies have no choice but to do so, because if they don't do it, no one's going to pay for it. So now it's going to be an arms race on who can become more efficient faster. This is what real competition looks like. It's that now people aren't willing to pay more than, let's say, $50 for something. So every company has to find a way to drop that price down to $50 so they can get the people to buy. That's what it always comes down to. But this is a consumer decision that is based on the entire culture, not just an individual or a community. So if they can do that, then yeah, it will be very big and prices will drop and we become more efficient. We will create what's called more wealth. That's what creating wealth is. But over time, in general, yes, if things stay the same where they're at right now, prices will continue to go up, which is why it's important for us to understand what we need and what we want, get rid of things we don't need anymore, so we can create assets that will in turn grow over time, which is the most important one, will be to invest in ourselves. Because you can say crime can pay, and it can, but the risk once you get caught, it's game over. Your entire life falls apart. Let's see this next one.
And the cashier was like, yep, only going to get worse from here. And they're not wrong. What the fuck is going on? This is insane. Groceries are killing us. And I would like to remind everybody that when they say groceries are up 33%, that is an average. So some things are up 400%, some things are up 1%. So remember how averages work. If you didn't pay attention in high school, because you were real fucking high, it's time to go watch some YouTube videos, because averages.
So grocery prices.
All right. I'm going to cancel that after that. It's already long enough. But yeah, grocery stores will go up in price consistently because of not just the farming and everything that grows for it, but the transportation, refrigeration, the entire supply chain is going to go up in price. So it's important for us to be aware that that's what's happening economically and macroeconomics. So we can only control what we can do in our microeconomic in our family. So the best thing is evaluate what you really need out of your life. And then once you can find that evaluation, then use that money to acquire what you need and then work on your own skill set. There are tons of ways to add value to people's lives. And that's what you have to do if you want to get yourself through this. And this is divorce from companies and corporations. It's trying to find a ways for you to add value to people's life that you care about, because that will turn to money later. So that's basically the video I wanted to bring up. I'll see you next time.